All engines running. We copy you on the ground. 4 forward. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Welcome back to Test Driver. I'm really excited for today's episode because you see, we're going to be installing powered running boards on my 2018 F-150. This is something that I've been wanting to do for 7 years, the entire time that I've owned this vehicle. And we're not going to be just installing any running boards. We're going to be installing the Lumastep M2s from Boost Auto. If you know, you know, go on their website, check out their configurator. You can customize these in so many different ways so that you get exactly what you want. Mine pretty much have every option, and I'm way excited to install these on my truck. Really got to say thank you to the folks over at Boost Auto. They've agreed to sponsor today's episode. I can't thank you guys enough for your participation. Oh, look, what are you doing? You know I'm filming.
Your truck's about to get a glow up.
What? I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. Let's install these things. First things first, let's get the old running boards off the truck. This is really what I'm after. That nice look that you get without having the running boards there all the time. I've resisted the urge to open these until we filmed this video, but I literally can't wait to see what these things look like. Keychain, t-shirt, koozie. That's pretty awesome. Wiring kit. Another wiring kit. Well, let's get one of these up. I mean, come on. That's pretty cool. Nice and sleek. White. Yeah, I can't wait to get these installed. More wiring. Lots of wiring. Let's see what's in the bracket kit box. Wow. This is really nicely packed. Spacers. The control module. What I really like about this, and I'll bring you over here so you can see it, but each of the brackets are marked. So you have a DF for driver front, rear for rear. Both the rears are actually interchangeable, and then a PF for passenger front. Like, this is like adult Legos. This is amazing. Next, we're going to take the rear bracket and we're going to install it the same way that we removed the OEM bracket. When we tighten this down, we are not going to tighten it down all the way because we'll need some room to do some final adjustments, maybe later on. You can ignore this red and black wire that I have here. This is actually for an aftermarket set of running board LEDs that I bought. Let's install the driver's side front now. The driver's side front goes on very similarly to the rear. You can see up here that there are 3 bolts that we need to attach to. Boost Auto provides the washers and the nuts to do so. This one's a little bit heavier because it has the motor on it, but super easy to get into place so that we can install it, that's for sure. Here you can see there's the main connector for the motor, and then here we have the 2 connectors. I believe these are for the different LEDs. One is for the turn signal and one is for the actual running lights. Now I'm going to go do the same thing on the other side. And like I said earlier, the rears are interchangeable, so we're going to take this rear and install it on the passenger side exactly like we did on the driver's side. Probably starting to notice a bit of a trend here. These go on the same bolts as the OEM running boards. 3 washers, 3 nuts, tighten them all up. I'm curious to know, what kind of videos do you guys want to watch on this channel? You know, I obviously like buying and installing parts on my vehicles. Kind of fun to try and make it better. I've been thinking about buying some cheap cars. It's not junk cars, but cars that I have liked over the years that have depreciated drastically, that I know I can get on the cheap and do reviews and own for a little bit and bring them to the channel. I guess also while I'm thinking about it, which vehicle of mine do you want to see more of? You've seen a good bit of the truck. That's because this is the thing that I drive the most. The BMW seems to be doing really well in terms of videos and content. Do you want me to spend some time putting some enhancements on that, seeing if I can find some people that would want to sponsor a build series for that? I'm curious. You know, what do you turn on YouTube auto channels for? I want to focus on the things that are interesting to you guys. What do you like? Post in the comments below. I did a little bit of work off camera, not a ton, but got some setup for the next stage, which is installing the wiring harness. First thing I did was I popped that little fastener there. And then in the engine bay, you can see that this is the control module. I've plugged that into the main wiring harness. And then using a coat hanger, I fed 2 cables down through the fender. So one is for the main control module and the other one is for the lighting. So I got to undo that. And then because I have the M2 steps, this is actually a harness that connects the motor here. So right here, this whole harness connects in between these lights. And now I have to wire that all up here. Pretty easy to put these together. Wait for that super satisfying click sound. There we go. Now we got to go up underneath here and connect the main hearts. Next, it's time to hook up the actual controller. So you can see I have the controller here. I have a zip tie running into one connector here. I have a zip tie running in over here. I'm going to look to see if there's something else I can connect it to over here to make it a little more stable, but I actually think it's pretty good. And then we have the main harness connected here. And now we need to run the positive from the main harness to our battery, which we're going to do right here. Well, this next part was fun. We had to remove these screws from the wheel well, which can be a bit challenging with these honking huge 35-inch tires, but we did it. So we removed the wheel well, peeled it back, and we pulled down the harness from the engine compartment into this fender here. We used these T-taps to connect the hardwire light and also the running board light. I'll be back in a second to do the rock lights as well. Also, we did the same thing on the passenger side. Now that we've got that cable connected to the headlights, we have to run that up here and pair it with the cable on the passenger side. And like we did just a few moments ago for the main harness, we need to connect this harness to the red terminal on the battery. Red, red. Now it's time for the rock lights. So for the rock lights, the connection's pretty simple. You take this same harness that you used for your running lights and for your hardwire lights, and you just push it in here. Once it's pushed in, you crimp it. It's raining, but I don't care. I want to get this done, so we're going to keep going. There we go. You can see it's crimped in place. We'll heat that so that that is nice and tight around the wire, and then we'll do the same thing on the passenger side. I think I'm going to switch, and I'm going to use the coat hanger to poke a hole from the inside of the cab through the grommet into the, or through the firewall into the engine bay. And if it's still raining, then what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mount the running boards while I wait for this to calm down. Tell me that I am not the only one that hates coming through the firewall. For some reason, this always feels like it takes a lot more than it should. About a half hour later, and we're good. I got the rock light switch wires as well as the power running board up and down wires all through the firewall, and now it's time to connect them to the port here. I kind of fast forwarded here just because I don't know how to fit a camera and my hands and a light in this area. For the OBD2 connector, we connected the high and the low wires for the main wiring harness. The high wire went on pin 20, which was from the top left, I think it was 6 over, and then the low went on pin 19, which is 7 over. Now we can reinstall the OBD2 connector. We've got the wires routed up and out of the way. I just stuffed my rock light power switch back there for the time being. I don't really want to drill into the dash, and I recently found and installed a Raptor upfitter switch panel. The switches don't work for the auxiliary lights, but everything else works. And I would like to, in the near future, figure out how to wire the rock lights into that switch. So for right now, that's going to hang out down here. now that we've taken care of the wiring on the inside, it is time to connect all the grounds. So let's undo this. All right, let's tighten that back up. I'm gonna come back and clean up all the wiring later once I'm confident that everything is working correctly. It was a little bit of a process to get to this point. We had to fight my neighbor deciding to mow his lawn for the first time in 2 months, 3 downpours, dogs barking in the background, some kids screaming in the pool next door, and a lot of wiring. Now we get to flip this over, put in the carriage bolts, and attach it to the truck. Wait, I forgot. Because all of the power is connected, I should be able to open this door right now, and if I'm not a complete moron, that side step's going to deploy. Yes. All right, back to putting the step on this thing. Because I opted to not get padding on these steps, I have these little spacers, which I'm supposed to install like this. All right, one more rainstorm later, and we have both of the side steps on. I've tightened up all the bolts. I've tidied up all the wires in the engine bay. Just about to clean up, but I wanted to give you a first look at this thing. Check out the startup sequence. I mean, come on, how cool is that? Later, when it gets a little darker, I'll come back out and be quiet and just give you some beauty shots of the truck with all the lights going. It's pretty fantastic. I can't wait to show you all. Till then, check this out. Super quick, nice wide step. Think a little lower than the OEM steps, which is great because I've got some short people in my family. Like I said, I'll be back later and show you everything. Welcome back to Test Driver. Today's episode, that was like crazy. Welcome!
Well, if we put the hat on the camera.
No, the camera doesn't need a hat. Lumastep.
I can't do this stuff early in the morning.
It's not early, that's the thing. It's like 11 o'clock. Go on. Yeah. There's no camera here. It's just you and me talking, right? What an angle. This is probably not a good look for me. Look at my swollen face. I'm a mess.